What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mototoxic. Today we're going to be talking about lowering springs, coilovers, and bags. Starting off with lowering springs. I personally, lowering springs are for the person who wants to make their car look more aggressive without having all of the performance of coilovers. Like, they like the stock performance of their stock springs, but they want it to look a little better, so they put lowering springs. And don't forget to pair it with shocks that are made to be with lowering springs. There's people out there that use their stock shocks with lowering springs, and as you can imagine, with the travel differences of lowering springs versus stock springs, your stock shocks versus lowering spring shocks are going to have a little bit different performance to them. Moving on to coilovers. Coilovers are cool for basically if you're doing any track stuff. Like, you get the maximum performance, like handling performance, from coilovers by far. There are cheap sets of coilovers that are kind of more complicated. They're kind of cheaper. You can find some between $800 and about $3,000. And as you can guess, your $800 pair of coilovers isn't going to perform as well as your $3,000 pair of coilovers due to different dampening stuff and all that other nonsense that's out there. There's a ton of technology that's out there for coilovers. Not just car suspension, but coilovers specifically, that you get with the $3,000 package of coilovers. For bags, this is for the people who like to have the aggressiveness of coilovers and lowering springs, and they like to be able to have the adjustability. Well, they like the adjustability of coilovers, but they don't necessarily like the fact that when you lower your car with coilovers, it's permanent until you jack it up and adjust the height. You have to take the wheel off to adjust the height with coilovers, and with bags, you just have an air compressor in your trunk or wherever it may be, because you can do this on any vehicle, right? You can do coilovers and lowering springs and all that stuff on do it on trucks, vans, whatever. So people with bags, they just typically like to have the adjustability aspect of bags. Now, given that, it's pretty important if you're modifying the ride height of your vehicle or adjusting the suspension of any kind to have caster camber plates. This allows for a proper alignment. There's people that like to stance their cars and stuff like that, but the problem with that is you wear the inside of your tires super bad, so you're going through tires like crazy. I don't really understand. I get it, why people might think it's cool. I personally am not a big fan of that look where your car's just stuck in in tire limbo. But if you're really looking for performance, you have to have your caster camber plates, unless you're specifically drilling holes. Like, if you're building a car specifically for something, I still don't understand why you wouldn't get caster camber plates. They're only a couple $100, but you could drill holes or slot the holes in your fender if you wanted to. I can't suggest that. It's not necessarily the safest thing in the world, but you can do it. I've seen people do it. I think it's ridiculous, but I would rather spend the $300 and do it the right way. So that about sums up the whole entire debate of lowering springs, coilovers, and bags. Which one's better? It's up to you and your driving style and what you're trying to achieve. Never cut your springs. Please, God, never cut your springs. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got what you're looking for when you came to this video. I hope you have a great day. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.